Welcome to 15 Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds.
Does it?
The date is Thursday the 14th of March,
2019.
And we've just been to see
Follies.
Open the house. Vicky, I'm not even going to waste time by saying how you are, asking how you are.
Okay, we've done that.
Because we are going to get on with this show.
Come on, let's just crack on.
I'm going to give you a fact file straight away.
Fact file, come on then.
Okay, so it was written by Stephen Sondheim,
Yep.
with the book by James Goldman.
Yep.
Directed by Dominic Cook.
Yep.
Musical director, Nigel Lilly. Choreography, Bill Deemer. And
Design, we need to introduce
a designer, Vicky Mortimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We
we're
need to bring
introducing
this
it
in more.
for this
Yes.
reason. I'm going to give you some of the notable actors.
Okay.
So Sally was played by Joanna Rudruck.
Joanna Riding.
Okay.
Can't read your own writing.
Phyllis was played by Janie Dee.
Yeah.
Ben was played by Alexander Hansen.
Not to be confused with Alexander Hamilton.
Buddy was played by Peter Forbes.
Yep.
Heidi by Felicity Lott.
Yep.
Stella by Dawn Hope. Hattie by Claire Moore. And Carlotta by Tracy Bennett.
Yeah.
It's at the National Theatre in the Olivier.
Yep.
And it's running until the 8th of April 2019.
Yeah, but you know what's confusing here? Because in the programme, I forgot my words for a minute. It says Felicity Lott until April the 8th, and then it says Josephine Barstow from the 6th of May. So I'm wondering whether it might transfer.
Oh, well, hopefully. Let's hope
Yeah.
it runs and runs, because what did you think?
I loved it.
Me too. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. So, we usually do audience antics in the middle,
Yeah.
but we didn't get to sit together, did we?
We did it. I was behind you.
Yes, as ever.
Which is sensible, having the small person sitting behind the tall person.
Somebody said that to me today.
Did they?
Yeah. Anyway, to what I said is that you always choose a slightly better seat.
Well, I'm not sure.
Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, we looked at each other just before when we found out that there was no interval and it was running for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, a bit long.
And we went,
oh,
and we went, we don't like Sondheim.
No.
And then it started, and then what happened?
Some people walked on the stage.
No, it was magic.
It was magic.
I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but it was amazing.
Yeah, it was like a real show-stopping show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and credit to the designer, Vicky Mortimer.
Yeah.
The costumes of...
Well, so she probably wasn't the costume designer. Hang
Anyway,
on.
no, okay.
I'm just looking.
Costumes, yeah.
Oh, where's costumes?
Okay.
Not seeing costumes.
Well, let's just say it was her.
Yeah, I'll carry on looking. Carry on.
Okay.
Oh, costume supervisor.
Yeah.
Irene Bowen.
Well, the design of the whole thing was great. Look, can you give us a synopsis?
Okay, so basically, it's set in a theatre which is being knocked down, and a group of people who used to perform there come together for like a last hurrah, and so they're all sort of mature ladies, some of which have brought their partners with them, and there's like the old director, and the theatre used to house a cast of essentially dancing girls.
Yeah. What did it say? America's
oh God.
glorious ladies or
something like that.
Yeah.
So we meet all these women, it's all fabulous, and then we get a bit more involved with 4 of them, and there's sort of a bit of a love triangle-y type thing going on.
But also, what we should point out is that every lady had a ghost. So the older lady was shadowed. The older characters were shadowed by ghosts of the past,
by their former selves,
and it was amazing.
Yeah. So you had the older ladies sort of in their evening wear at this party, and the young ladies were all dressed up in their costumes and they were all from like, apart from the 4 of them that were all together, most of them were sort of from different times, so the costumes were all slightly different.
Yeah, but they all had a kind of cream. It was like a silver screen quality.
Yeah, so they were sort of all the costumes of the younger ladies were sort of ivory with sequins and feathers,
and they stand like this.
No one can see what you're doing.
So you must describe me.
James is standing like, he's trying to be sexy, but it's not working.
Okay, what do you think of the staging?
it was just really well done, wasn't it? The set was fairly minimal, but so there was like a big sort of brick arch which moved around,
which was basically a rundown theatre.
Yeah, which sort of like would swivel to be either the backstage or I think it was the back of the building or sort of the front of the house.
Yeah.
And then there was some sort of, on one side there were loads of discarded theatre seats and mirrors.
And a lot of the time the ghosts of the past would just sit and watch.
Yeah. They didn't use a lot of props or anything, did they? There were champagne glasses but not much else, was there?
Yeah, and one of the actors, he could not keep that champagne in the glass for love nor money.
Oh yeah, it kept spilling, didn't it?
We were lucky enough to be right at the front, weren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should spend quite a bit of time talking about the performances.
Yeah.
Because some of them was amazing.
I mean, I think everyone that was in it was really, really, really good.
Me too.
But there was some that really stood out. So there were the four main characters. Sally, when she did her big number,
and there's two Sallys we should point out: old Sally, young Sally.
So I'm talking about old Sally. Do you know, I have to say, to see such a strong cast, a female-led cast with mature ladies, was fantastic.
Yeah, I completely agree. We hear it all the time. There's not enough, but it showed the talent.
Oh my God! I mean, I think the more you lead your life, and the more experiences you have, the more emotions you can put into performance.
Absolutely. And
when Sally, who I guess was sort of the
main,
one of the four main characters, but she was probably the main one. When she did her big solo number at the end, I mean, I was crying.
It was brilliant.
It was just so much passion and so much heartbreak.
But there were so many surprise songs. You know, there was an old couple who you heard that they, after she left Follies, she went to run a dance school.
Well, they bought a franchise of dance school with a couple, and they were still teaching it, and they were the oldest people.
They were so convincing. They
did a little tap dance. They sang a song. All of the four main characters were brilliant. The lady Janie D, who played Phyllis.
God, she could dance.
Oh, her dancing! I mean, you wouldn't put, you couldn't.
But also sassy with it as well.
Yeah, but you'd put her up there against the younger dancers, and she more than held her.
Well, there was a wonderful bit, wasn't there? I think it was called the mirror dance. When all the old girls got up and were doing it.
Not the really old ones, but most of them got up and did this tap dance.
And then the ghosts kind of came through and then carried on, and then they came back. And it was so cleverly done.
It was so good. The men were good as well. Like the two main guys were good. The first one, I think both of us were a bit unsure about first. But then he came back on later and did his big solo number, which was fantastic.
Amazing, yeah. And he really grew to like him. And I think, just before we move on, because I think we'll have to.
Well, I feel there's a few more people we maybe
I want to talk about the opera singer, Heidi.
So she was probably the oldest, and she was just amazing, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She sang part of it with her younger self.
Yes. And that was breathtaking, that opera, because they both were hitting those high notes.
Yeah. Like, really amazing.
Oh, it was amazing.
And then two others that I would particularly pick out. There was a lady that played Hattie, Claire Moore. She did a Broadway baby song.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
She was great.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, Tracy Bennett.
Yes.
Who played Carlotta. She did another sort of really tragic, sad song, but it wasn't sad at the same time. It was just beautiful.
Oh, and she set it up beautifully, because she said, "I've seen this sad song, but people always laugh at it," and it was just brilliant.
And then Dawn Hope, who played Stella, who did the Mirror song.
Yes,
she was. I mean,
they
really
were all.
Good. I couldn't fault.
Yeah, anyone. I agree. So we're both not really Sondheim fans, are we?
No.
What do you think of the music?
I thought it worked really perfectly in the setting of that play.
He captured the 30s old-time jazz thing, and it worked with the 70s kind of style.
Yeah, it was just really. There were light-hearted songs, but when what he really nailed for me were the songs that had some sort of undertone, some sort of sad undertone. Even if they weren't sad songs, there was like something there.
Yeah,
but he really nailed it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well done, Sondheim.
Anything you didn't like?
No.
No, me neither. I was about, because Guy can be a little bit impatient at the theatre.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 hours and 15 minutes is a long time. And I was just getting to a point where I was thinking, oh, come on, wrap it up. And then they do the Follies bit, which are 4 songs, really distinct songs.
Yeah, so each of the 4 main characters, it's like their folly, so it's like...
well, one's very comedic, and then one's...
One of them loves someone that doesn't love her, potentially. We're not sure about that.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought that lifted it so well at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so stand-up moment, Vicky. You've got one?
Yeah, well, I mean, many. I've got many. But I have to say, my stand-up moment, which the bit that made me cry, was Losing My Mind. Sally's main song towards the end.
Okay.
I mean, I was in floods of tears.
Okay. For me, my stand-up moment was the opening, when all the girls came on and they were all in their 30s dress, and it was just so magical.
Well, they weren't just 30s, they varied throughout the years. Did you not notice the sashes?
Yes, sorry, yeah. but it was just magical. Mm. Look, should we take a break and then we'll score it?
Sure.
Audience antics. Okay, so all I've really got to say about it is that we weren't sitting together. Tragedy.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Everyone was very well behaved.
But after it opened,
yeah,
I think that's what they call it. After it started, let's say. After it started,
yeah.
After about 5 minutes, I turned around to you and we both just nodded at each other,
yeah.
Which was great.
I feel like everyone was just totally transfixed by it, weren't
I
they?
think so.
Yeah.
Also, there was a free seat next to me.
Was there?
Yeah, you could have sat next to me after all.
I couldn't see because it was behind your...
And also, because there was no interval, I couldn't...
I couldn't move.
I had a feeling, because there was a guy sat next to me and then there was an empty seat. Oh. Got a feeling he'd been stood up.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, never mind. Anyway, should we score it?
Yeah.
I'll go first. Do I always go first?
No.
Okay. Performances. I am going to give it a big fat 10.
I'm going to give it a 10.
Okay, staged and technical. I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm
going to give it a 10.
Oh my god. Narrative. Do you know what? I'm going to give it a 10 because I can't think of anything wrong with it.
James is using his eraser to rub out the score.
It's my new thing. I've got an eraser.
Yeah.
Narrative, plot, and music. I am going to give it a 8.5.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay. Originality.
It's hard to tell because it's an old thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can give it 8.5.
Okay, I'll give it a 7.5. We're doing a half, so aren't we? And was it worth it? We'll
10.
do it at the same time. 10.
10.
Yeah. Okay, alright, so while
I'm feeling immediately mean like it's not going to be high enough.
Okay, so while I add up the scores, why don't you tell the listener what we're going to see on Monday?
Oh, so... James and I are going to see something completely new that we've never seen before. No, we're not. We're going to see Follies again because we loved it so much. So if this isn't top of the leaderboards, we've made some big error with our
And do you know what? That never happens, does it?
What?
That we book straight away.
I have never, ever, ever been to see the same performance twice. James literally booked it when he got home after the performance, didn't you?
I did. And yeah, it was just magical. I just thought... Because it's back for a limited run, isn't it, I suppose? Yeah,
I'm concerned that we might not have the same magic, but then we'll see. James has done the scores, but he's not done them very well.
I've done them pretty well.
He's done them pretty well.
Okay, so it gets...
Oh, it's not going to win.
It's not going to win. It gets a rating of 4.68.
I don't think that's high enough. I want to redo my scores.
I know, we can't redo them. That's not the rules. Alright, look. It gets an appreciation of 4.68.
No, it's not right.
It doesn't feel right. What do we mark it down on?
Originality.
Well, look.
I mean, to be fair, it's not
no,
it's not that original.
But look, let's be fair. It's in the top 3, and I did really like Bavarian Sound Studio, and I did really like Hamilton. But who knows where it's going to come in the 50 Minute Theatre Awards show in November.
I'm so going to give it some awards. I feel so bad about this.
It's going to wipe the floor.
It should be like equal with Hamilton.
We love it. Look, we love it. We love it. We thought it was going to... I mean, Hamilton, we have given it 4.9, which is like... No, it just lost 2 points. That's pretty high.
Yeah, I mean...
I think we were giddy.
If you want to go and see a really good, old school... really well done, really well performed musical, then this is something to go and see.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we've been speaking just for 15 minutes.
I think you're losing your mind.
Hey, look, it's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
Anyway, it's nice to see. I was going to say it's nice to see a musical in the top, but Hamilton's right at the top.
James has had some wine, so have I. There's no excuse for this behaviour.
Thank goodness for the theatre bell.
It's good timing.
Are we allowed to score it again if we go and see it again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe we'll do a supplement podcast with a quick, was it as good the second time round?
A bonus. We'll do a
few minutes, little bonus podcast.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
What do you think? Let's rescore.
Okay. Oh, God, what if it does even worse?
I'm already going to push my points up.
Listen, that's the theatre bell. We've got to go, Vix.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're welcome anytime,
Are
even
you
though
go
I'm at your house.
So the curtain's down, the theatre's dark, and do you know what?
What?
That was 15-minute theatre.
Was it 15-minute theatre?
The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. The morning ends, I think about you. I talk to friends, I think about you. And do they know it's like I'm losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. Does no one know? It's like I'm losing my mind. All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing